Hey everybody, this is part 2 of Plum Cake. Uh, Apparently I hit the wrong button on my phone. Instead of hitting pause, I hit stop. So this is going to be part 2 of Plum Cake smoking for the first time. This is the mid-bowl range, and it's gotten slightly milder a little bit, but it still has that peppery taste like on the back of the tongue, that hangs on. Pretty good, I say. Now, I ain't gonna say this is something that I want to smoke all the time, but I say if you are wanting something out of the ordinary, especially if you're an aromatic pipe smoker like me, or aromatic tobacco smoker like me, I say it's something to kind of get you out of the normal routine of things. Now, on the retrohale, there's like a slight kind of burn, not like a bad burn, but just a slight, spicy burn on the retrohale. It's kind of interesting. Talking about J.R. Tolkien, there's another guy I started following that used to be, I think, some kind of clergy or something over in England, and he's wrote a lot of religious poems and stuff. And he was talking about out of the Hobbit, the book The Hobbit, about how Tolkien like really painted a picture with the words pretty much about the description of what this dragon was like laying on top of his hoard of jewels and gold and everything, and talk about how out of the mouth and the nostrils of the dragon, great barrels of smoke. And he was talking about how he often wondered if that was another reason why Tolkien smoked a pipe, was because he liked the idea of maybe being able to blow fire or breathe smoke, like a dragon, and he said maybe that was one of the other fascinations with him smoking a pipe, and also why the hobbits and pretty much just about everyone in the book pretty much kind of smoked some kind of pipe, But I thought that was kind of fascinating, and being a bit of a nerd like I am, on all, I say it's a good smoke. Would I say it was my favorite? Nah. Do I say it's good? A good, would I throw it away? Nah. I might share with somebody. It's not one of my tobaccos I would probably hoard to myself. Of course, if you think about it, us pipe smokers, we're all kind of like how dwarfs are with their precious gold and gems and stuff, or how a dragon is with their hoard, or kind of like how Schmeagol, was all about his
precious, my precious.
You know, we all got that one blend of tobacco that we just absolutely, will hoard, or those few tobaccos we hoard more than any. And I was lucky and fortunate enough to find my favorite blend not too far along into the hobby, and that's Cult Blood Red Moon. I love that blend. I can smoke it straight out of the tin, or I can let it dry out. I've actually tested that tobacco in different stages, from fresh out of the tin to 30 minutes drying to an hour drying to half a day drying to a 24-hour dry, and it tastes great every single time. No, to me, it is like, I would say once you got used to smoking your pipe, and especially if you're a beginner, you get used to smoking your pipe and get that cadence down and everything else, then I believe as an aromatic pipe tobacco, that tobacco there is like, you can't go wrong with it no matter which way you want to smoke it. But I would say that tobacco there would be my hoarded tobacco, my hoarded blended tobacco, my golden treasure, And I'd say maybe my second blended tobacco, and I've not had this since I lived in Kentucky, is from one of the oldest tobacconists down there in the Cincinnati and Kentucky area, or Florence, Kentucky area, and that's from Strauss Tobacconist, and that would be their house blend River Road, as which to me was one of the first actual aromatics that I really, really loved. And if I can ever make it back over to Cincinnati or Florence, Kentucky, where their second location is located at, I would go down there and I would probably spend a ridiculous amount of money to buy stock bulk of that house blend, if they still do it. Getting a little bit down towards the end of this smoke here. I will say though, there is another blend of tobacco I have that I would like to mix it with this blend, mix the two together and see what it would turn out being. Now here on the tail end of it, like I was expecting it to kind of be more of a burnt ashy taste a little bit, especially with the way I had to light it, and also with the way the wind is kind of out here. If you look at the trees behind me, you can see they're kind of swaying a little bit. I was expecting it to be a much more stronger at the end, but it appears to be really good, a little bit better. Now, like I said, I didn't intend to dry this out overnight, so I am going to do another video on this tobacco with it only being dried for maybe 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes or so, just to give it a different type of fair chance, to see how the flavors would differential. Even on the end note, even a more smoother sensation on the retrohale as well of this tobacco. As which that kind of blows my mind. Now, that may be contributed to me letting it pretty much sit out overnight to dry. But then again, it could just be the tobacco itself. That's no reason why I'm going to give this tobacco another shot and see if the drying differential makes a difference or not, or an impact on that. All in all, this is a very beautiful blend, a peppery blend. If I had to give my opinion, now mind you, my taste buds are different from anyone else's, and there's quite a lot of other people out there that got much more keen taste than I do. A lot of people with more experience on their taste buds with this blended tobacco. So don't just take my word alone for it. Watch other videos, other people, get their opinions. But for me, if I had to say this tobacco was anything, I would say it's a very peppery, spicy tobacco versus the aromatic side of things. Well, everybody, like always, at the end of all my videos, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around with me this long. And for all my longtime followers and friends, thank you so much for sticking with me, sticking by me, staying subscribed to me. And for anybody new that runs across this channel, welcome and thank you. And whatever walk of life you come from, wherever you're at in this world, may you always be blessed. Till next time.